Talk on demand. Interruption-free audio where you want it, when you want it.
15 minutes before 2 o'clock. A little later on in the show, we'll hear from Environment Canada's top climatologist, David Phillips. He was on with Drew Ramenda, who's filling in for Brent Laux on 650 CKOM's A Morning Show, talking about thunder and lightning. And he'll explain what thunder is, and he'll explain a whole lot more than I ever knew about lightning as well. That's coming up in a little while here on Saskatchewan Afternoon. Jenny Mignot travels across the country fighting for the rights of soldiers with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. And she also, though, fights for their families, the caregivers. Mignot's made a few stops in Saskatchewan over the past week or so, talking with local families and promoting support and advocacy programs for those struggling with PTSD. And she's on the line with me right now. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Why are you so involved in this?
Oh, my God. Because I'm part of it, because I know the consequences of the abandonment of the system, because I know what struggling is when you live with military PTSD, and I am convinced that I am not alone. So, people need to hear also a message of hope, but they need also to realize that some of us, and I'm not the only one, are fighting for our identity and our dignity.
A lot of people, I think that veterans are pretty well taken care of in this country.
Oh, my God. If he knew how much it's not true. I mean, some of them, yes, and that's exactly how it should be, right?
Yeah.
But since 2006, I mean, it's terrible. The support is not there. The family is not recognized, and they have created needs that are way beyond the available resources right now. And the pain and suffering of those who served is absolutely real. Either they served in Afghanistan or in Bosnia or in Rwanda. It doesn't matter. In the end, everybody's pain is the same.
You have a partner who suffers PTSD, am I correct? And an ex-husband who suffers PTSD.
Exactly. You are absolutely correct. And it's because of them that I can do this tour today, because they believe in me and my message, and I need to say it, because there's no organization who will support, a loudmouth like me talking about what's not going right in the system. So, yes, I am involved with a man who has PTSD, yes. Are
you doing this on your own, Jenny?
Absolutely.
So you're obviously passionate about this, and I give you much credit for that. What is your goal here? I know you're an advocate, but I guess the reason I ask this is, obviously your goal is for government to change, but also would it be to tell other people, caregivers and veterans, that they're not alone?
I lost my family myself. I lost a first marriage, and I lost contact with my own children as a result of it. So you have no idea how much all I want to do is really to help those who want to save their family to save it, because my pain for me, my price is absolutely real. So yes, as I said, people need to hear that they're not alone, but I'm also here to talk about different strategies in terms of empathy, in terms of the responsibility of caregivers too. My objective is not only to make people cry about our reality and to make them realize that we're not alone, but it's also to educate them, to empower them, because there are solutions.
Okay, so tell me, is there an easy way to explain what the solutions would be?
Recognition, support, and education. You help me, you support me, because I come with my own struggles, right? And I need a place to vent. That's support. And I need to be educated, because you can learn how to deal with paranoia, with disassociation, with nightmares, with anger. And we need to be recognized. That means that if I knock on doors and if I call Veterans Affairs to ask for help for my husband because he's not doing well, I'm expecting them not to turn me away. And not to mention the financial recognition, because right now Veterans Affairs will pay a stranger, will pay you to accompany my husband to see a psychologist. They will pay you up to $100 a day. But because I'm the wife, or if I would be a child, this support would not be given to me. I'm not entitled to it because I'm a family member. This is how ridiculous it is.
And your argument, part of your argument is the families, the caregivers need support.
They do need it because we are either the best ally or the worst enemy to someone who is suffering. That's how important we are in the balance. Don't forget that those who are committing suicide, most of the time they are alone. They have no more family support. That's why we need to keep the unit so strong, because it's actually saving lives. But like I said, we need to be empowered and we need to be educated in order to offer someone who's wounded a proper environment for him to want to heal.
Jenny Mignot is out there fighting for the rights of veterans, soldiers with PTSD, and also fighting for their families, the caregivers as well, and has been making stops right across Canada, and she's been making some stops recently here in Saskatchewan. So you've met with a number of people. The stories that you hear are probably the same all over. And so are you now gathering a group?
Not yet. Not yet, because myself, I am at the point where I need to understand exactly like what's going on in Canada. And if I may take a few seconds of your time to tell you how impressed I am with Saskatchewan, actually, because I realized how much Saskatchewan was actually abandoned by the official resources. You know, I'm talking about OSIS, for instance, but Saskatchewan made it happen through OSI CAN, for instance, which is the equivalent, but now open to first responders and police officers and so on. So they are making it happen, and they found a formula that actually answers the need. And like, good for you, Saskatchewan. You are actually, in that sense, a leader for many provinces.
OSI CAN is an organization, a nonprofit organization that helps people struggle with these stress injuries and PTSD, right?
Exactly, and it's born from the efforts of the Provincial Legion and the mental health, the Canadian Mental Health Association. So the two organizations just worked together and created OSI CAN.
You know what? A lot of people don't even know about that here in Saskatchewan. It's when a soldier is injured physically, everybody knows about it, or certainly friends and neighbors and loved ones know about it. When a soldier is injured emotionally or psychologically, a lot of people don't know about it, and a lot of people don't want to hear about it. That's what you're running into, I suggest.
Exactly. And I'm trying to help people recognize and be respectful and be helpful of the one who's suffering, because chances are he won't be open about, the nature of his struggles. And as civilians, there's plenty of things we will never know, but we can know how to make them feel okay and safe in their own society.
Jenny Mignot has been touring Canada, advocating for veterans with PTSD and their families. So what's next? What is your next goal?
Next goal really is to work on the recognition measure that was announced last April and which is inaccessible. Now I'm going to try to put the political pressure in order to have those change made. So, although I'm not a leader of an organization, I'm not the only one in Canada who's starting, and so hopefully our collective effort will make a difference. I mean, they have to change. Because myself, I won't stop until those changes happen. Yeah,
I can. That was my next question. We haven't heard the end of Jenny Mignot, have we?
No. They called me a flash in the pan when I ran after Minister Fantino a few years ago, and that started my advocacy adventure. But, now we're strong. We're stronger than we were before, and this is why we keep we need to carry on and we need to continue our journey, because we need that recognition in order to help those who are suffering. We're not a burden, we're an investment.
I remember when you ran after Fantino. I remember that a number of years ago, down the hall, and he was completely ignoring you. I think he finally ended up talking to you at the end, but you were not giving up, and he was trying to have you give up by ignoring you. Was that the start of your advocacy work, because you had hit that wall?
Oh, absolutely. I needed to be heard back then. I was so angry at the system. I was so angry of the abandonment. And that's why I wanted to talk to Minister Fantino to tell him that I understood that I could be educated just like a service dog. But he ignored me, and he ended up by talking to me, but only a few weeks before he was moved and replaced by Mr. O'Toole. So it took a number of months before he actually met with me. But since then, I met all four ministers, and, I think that right now Minister O'Regan is doing the best that he can, but he's stuck with the results, right, of what was created, politically speaking, in the past few years.
Yes, and that's why it's going to be a long fight for you.
Oh, it's not over yet, but you know what? It's one day and one battle at a time and one opportunity at a time. We have to continue to believe in those changes.
How many people do you think you're advocating on behalf of? Do you have any idea how many veterans might be out there with PTSD?
I wish, even Veterans Affairs would know that answer, but you know what? 800,000 veterans in this country, 200,000 are clients of Veterans Affairs, and nobody can tell you how many caregivers there are. And I don't believe that no one wants to know because it would be expensive for them. But, just think about one suffering person. Needs at least one person, but most of the time we're talking about a family, 2-3 people. So I don't know how many, and that's the sad thing about it. Will we ever know? I doubt it. We don't even know how many veterans are truly suffering because some of them don't want to deal with Veterans Affairs.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough job, and somebody's got to take that leadership, and we're very happy that you're doing this, Jenny. Thanks for the conversation.
I thank you so much.
Take care now.
Take care. Bye. Merci. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Jenny Mignot, fighting for the rights of soldiers with PTSD, fighting for the rights for the caregivers as well. Now the Ray Morris